The middle class is the most expensive place to live in worldwide, and no one is talking about it. Poor people get help, rich people, they have options. The middle class somehow pays full price for everything and gets nothing.
Okay, so when exactly did middle class just become pure survival mode? I'm talking like the hunter-gatherer stage of humanity. Because think about it like this, just one mistake, one minute mistake away from sleeping under a fucking bridge.
It's gotten so bad to the point where the middle class lifestyle has now become an aspirational thing to many Americans. It almost now feels like there's only really like three classes, which is like you're affluent.
Show you exactly how the middle class died over 50 years. It started in the 1970s when we left the gold standard and moved to a debt-based monetary system. In the 80s, we decided to do trickle-down economics, giving tax cuts to the rich and corporations so the money would trickle down. The top 1% now has $55 trillion. The bottom 50% has $4 trillion. The fuck it did. Then we decided to move away from pensions.
I saw this video of a lady talking about how the middle class is the most expensive place to be in, and nobody's talking about it. And that video just hit so hard. Like that video, she just hit on all the nails.
Think about it. If you make $85,000 a year, it sounds fine on paper, but you're too rich for financial aid, so your kids are going to take out loans. You're too rich for housing assistance, so you pay rent full price. You're too rich for medical aid, so your insurance costs $600 and it barely covers anything. You're too rich for food stamps, so your grocery bill eats you alive. But you're too poor to invest, too poor to buy property, too poor to hire help, too poor to start a business without risking everything, too poor to take a year off or to actually be free. So you work the 50 hours a week to stay exactly where you are. You can't go down, the safety net is gone, you can't go up, the capital isn't there. You're just stuck running on a treadmill that rewards you with the same spot every single year. And the most cruel part is you're the one that society depends on. You pay the most taxes by percentage, you fund everything, you vote, you show up, but you get nothing back but a clap that you're doing fine. The middle class isn't a step on the ladder, it is a trap door. If you're in it, you've got two choices. Climb hard enough to escape it, or accept that you're funding everyone else's lives except your own. There is no staying in the middle. The middle is disappearing, and the people who don't see it are the ones that are gonna wake up wondering what happened to the life that they thought that they were actually building.
Talking about a major mistake like, deciding today I'm gonna wake up and rob a fucking liquor store, go to jail for a few days, get out, not have a job, be fucking homeless type of mistake. I'm talking about just a simple mistake. Too many, parking tickets, speeding tickets. Or even maybe your employer just decides they don't want you anymore and you just can't find a job fast enough and you weren't able to fucking save up to survive for a month and you're fucking homeless. Like that's how close the middle class is to essentially what wasn't that long ago pure fucking poverty. Like one simple mistake away from being completely homeless and having nothing. That's how close that's the line, guys. That's the fucking line. And yes, I know it's all by design. And yeah, I've done plenty of content on that. I'm well awake and well aware of those situations. And this is a plan that's been in place for hundreds of years. I fucking get it, but we're right there. Like the middle class right now is about to become completely fucking extinct. Like the dinosaurs. That didn't exist, by the way.
The middle class is dying before our very eyes in America right now. It's gotten so bad to the point where the middle class lifestyle has now become an aspirational thing to many Americans. It almost now feels like there's only really like three classes, which is like you're affluent, you're upper middle class, and then you're lower class struggling American, and the middle class is like this tiny minority in between the mix. Like people with middle class incomes can no longer buy homes. They're struggling to pay their bills, struggling to afford solid vehicles for themselves. Not to mention, many in the upper middle class are also facing just unsurmountable amounts of debt right now. The middle class was never intended to feel rich, but it also wasn't intended to feel poor or feel like you have to live paycheck to paycheck to get by. If this isn't a sign to lock in and get out of debt, I don't know what else is. Like, Americans need a breakthrough right now. They need a breakthrough financially, need a breakthrough when it comes to debt, they need a breakthrough when it comes to affordability. You can't afford
exactly how the middle class died over 50 years. It started in the 1970s when we left the gold standard and moved to a debt-based monetary system. In the 80s, we decided to do trickle-down economics, giving tax cuts to the rich and corporations so the money would trickle down. The top 1% now has $55 trillion. The bottom 50% has $4 trillion. The it did. Then we decided to move away from pensions to 401ks, taking the responsibility of the corporation away for retirement and putting it onto the individual. Then we decided to greenlight stock buybacks. So instead of giving people more wages, they just bought back their own stock, making the shareholders rich and giving themselves bonuses. Around the same time, states began shifting more of the college costs onto the students. So now the colleges are responsible, so the price goes up. So instead of just being able to go to college for a higher education and pay it off working at an ice cream joint in the 80s, you now have to spend 10, 20 years paying this off. And then during the 70s, 80s, and 90s, the offshoring began. So instead of building the middle class here, we decided to build the middle class of other countries before taking care of our people here. And then around the 80s as well as when the leverage buyouts without the proper regulations of private equity dominance started. And this is what's led to what we have today with private equity buying up everything from nursing homes to dentist office to veterinarian offices, you name it, they're in it. And this goes all the way until 2008 with the predatory lending. People lost their jobs, went into foreclosure, and then they decided to use taxpayer money to bail out the fucking banks. No one was held accountable. And then in 2010, they greenlit Citizens United and allowed super PACs so that billionaires can buy elections and they can run their money through nonprofits, so it's dark money and you don't even know who's donating to what. And then you fast forward to the pandemic, the government forced us to shut down, paid out trillions of dollars, which people needed, but it rose our debt. All that money went to the top 1%. And because the interest rates were low, everyone came in and bought a 2.5% to 3% mortgage, which took the little supply we had left off the market, making the housing prices go up 40 to 50%, locking out an entire generation from home ownership. And the biggest thing ever that really our generation over, they racked up $38 trillion of national debt, and $1 trillion a year goes to paying that interest. 20% of our tax money just on that interest. Are they stopping? No! It's projected to be $55 trillion the next 15 years, and we're going to have to pay for that shit. And to top it all off, inflation has gone up 26% since the pandemic, and that is how the middle class died and our generation got
You know, that is very, very relatable. You know, what she's saying, everything she's saying is true. When you are in the middle class, you are stuck there. You have no help and you have no bailout. Middle class actually means you can afford the appearance of stability, but the unexpected expense away from a very, very stressful inconvenience. You know, so middle class is not safe. It appears that you are good and well and everything, but let one thing move or shift out of place and you are all in shambles. You know what I mean? So being in the middle class is not fun. You pay the most taxes. You pay the full prices for everything. There's no help from the government, and everything you have to pay full prices for it. Middle class is actually the working class. Middle class are the ones that do all the work. They're the ones that go to work and pay all the taxes. They are the ones that do all the work. The accuracy of this video is very, very relatable. But anyways, let me know what you think about this story down in the comment section below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.